So we just saw that how mitosis is going to take place in our body or any living organism. So mitosis is going to be done or is going to be taking place in cells which are going to be used for growth, repair, replacement, or in case of asexual reproduction. Uh, a short thing what we will also need to know is about meiosis. As such, meiosis is not there in your syllabus in detail, but we need to know certain important significance of meiosis which is going to be there. Now, first thing is meiosis is going to be taking place only in case of sex cells. Sex cells meaning the cells which are used for reproduction in males or females. Hence, the meiosis is going to take place in testes in case of males for the production of sperm. So sperm is generated due to meiosis. Similarly, it is going to take place in the ovary in female. So the egg which is produced by ova which is produced by the female is produced due to meiosis. Similarly, in case of plants, the formation of seed takes place, and that is nothing but the pollen grain takes place with the help of meiosis. So pollen grains, ovules, sperm, test, ova, everything is going to be due to meiosis. Now the main thing in case of meiosis is that the number of chromosomes, if the number of chromosomes was n or 2n, then it is going to split into n and n. That means one particular cell is going to give rise to two cells of half the chromosome number. That is called as a haploid nature. So this is nothing but haploid. Whereas in case of the mitosis, what we have is if 2n is there, we are going to produce 2n here, which is called as diploid. So when it is going to be exactly the same here, 2n, then it is diploid. When it is single over here, splitting into two parts, it is called as haploid. So that is why we have this particular kind of a structure which is meiosis, or the formation which is meiosis. So the most significant aspect of meiosis is that number of chromosomes in the sex cell is halved. So one member of each pair, haploid, are passed on into the sex cells. This is essentially because when a male and the female gamete are going to fuse together, fertilization takes place. At that time, half of this and half of this will become one full this. Hence, the chromosome number of the organism is going to be maintained during reproduction. So the normal diploid form is going to be formed when two such chromosomes of haploid nature are going to combine with each other. The stages of mitosis are not in scope. So however, you should know the basics about it. So mitosis is complete in two divisions. So first there is a meiosis 1 and then it is meiosis 2. The first is the reduction division, and the second is mitotic. So first one is the reduction wherein the 2 becomes 1n and 1n, and then they are going to, so first is going to be this way, that will be one 2n over here. This is one single cell. This cell is going to split into two haploid natures, and then this is going to do mitosis and going to form N over here. So this way you are going, one single cell is going to produce 4 daughter cells over here. Okay, the number of daughter cells which one meiosis is going to produce is 4. 4 daughter cells are going to be produced. Now significance is that chromosome numbers are halved as in the gametes. Now another important thing is there is a mixing up of the chromosome characteristics. Now this is very important. Suppose this is one chromosome over here. So this is one chromosome like this, and this is another chromatid over here. So these are the two chromatids which are connected over here by the center. Now when this is of the male and there is one of the female over here which is also of the same kind, they're just coming like this and one like this. So this is over here. What is going to happen is this are going to be something like this. They are going to come like this, and this is going to come like this, and there will be interchange. So interchanging will be this way, that यहाँ का ये part जो है वो इसमें चला जाएगा. So ये पार्ट जो है इसमें चला जाएगा और यहाँ का जो रेड पार्ट है वो इसमें चला. So it will so happen that this thing after for the combination will become like this, and this will become like this over here. So this has got इसका पार्ट and इसका पार्ट इधर चला गया. So there is a crossover. We can call it as crossover. The chromatid exchanging the parts. This crossover is going to take place each and every time when the gametes are going to be formed. Now, why is this so? Is because, in fact, that is the reason that two kids of the same parents are not identical in nature. They are not identical in features also, physical features also. This is because the crossover which is going to take place. The crossover which is going to take place will be having so many multiple options that's the reason the child who is going to be born by the same parents will be of different characteristics. So crossing over, which is while the maternal and paternal chromosomes are separating, the chromatin material very often gets exchanged between the two members of the homologous pairs, resulting into genetic recombination. So this recombination what is going to take place is a very important thing what takes place during meiosis. So both these permutation and combination during meiosis, this mitotic what is permutation combination जो मिलने वाले अपने को during mitotic division provide for an innumerable variation in the progeny, that is in the baby. That is how the children of the same parent, however similar, are different from each other in certain respects. So we can easily differentiate between mitosis and meiosis over here as given in the textbook. The first one is mitosis mein. The question is where is it occurring? So mitosis is going to take place in the somatic cells or the body cells, whereas meiosis is going to take place in the reproductive cells or the sex cells. And for what is the mitosis going to take place? The mitosis is going to take place for providing growth and replacement. So of course repair also, growth, repair, replacement. Whereas meiosis is going to be formed for gamete formation, sperm formation, ova formation. So gamete formation is the main purpose of meiosis. When it occurs, now mitosis occurs throughout the life, right from the baby zygote to the end of the life. It is going to take place throughout the life, whereas meiosis is going to be there only for the regenerative or the reproductive active age. So once the puberty is reached to a particular age where that particular person is reproductive in nature, so that is the age for which they will be active. Now the number of daughter cells produced will be in mitosis, the number of daughter cells will be 2, whereas in meiosis, as I told you, the number of daughter cells are 4. So meiosis produces 4, mitosis 2. Number of chromosomes passed onto each daughter cells is, now in case of mitosis, 2n ka 2n, complete set is being forwarded to the next daughter cell, whereas in case of meiosis, haploid nature, half the number of cells, chromosomes are forwarded, that is they are passed on to the next generation. That's why mitosis is diploid whereas meiosis is haploid nature. Number of nuclear divisions. So in case of mitosis there is only one nuclear division, एक ही बार वो nuclear division हो रहा है, whereas यहाँ पे दो बार हो रहा है, पहले होगा यहाँ पे और उसके बाद यहाँ पे. So there are two nuclear divisions taking place in case of meiosis, only one nuclear taking place in the mitosis case. And finally, identity of chromosomes and genes. So we can see the chromosomes which are going to be generated will be identical in nature. There is no crossover, nothing taking place. So hence one cell duplicating into two cells, we are identical in nature. There is no change in that. Whereas in case of meiosis, due to the crossover, there will be mixing up taking place. Hence randomly assorted between the gametes produced. This results in genetic variations. So there will be a genetic variation which is going to take place in case of meiosis. So that was about the cell division and structure of chromosomes. We have completed this particular chapter. You can just go through the chapter from the textbook also, and in case of any doubts, you can always ask me. Okay. So that was about the first chapter of bio, structure of chromosome, cell division and cell cycle.